Good morning, children. Today again I am here in front of you with a new chapter, that is a question of trust. This chapter we are going to begin today. We'll discuss the chapter, we'll discuss the character sketches also at the end of the chapters. So read it the chapter thoroughly. And before we start with this chapter, I want to discuss about the title first and about the writer Victor Canning. Theme is that the title is a question of trust, and here the theme is hidden behind this title, question of trust. As you can see, this title speaks a lot. Okay, what it speaks about? It speaks about trust, and a question word is used with the trust. Why? Because the theme of the chapter is saying that don't trust anyone, so that they, without finding out fact about that person, actual nature of that person, don't trust blindly of that person. This is the theme of this chapter. This chapter written by Victor Canning. Victor Canning, he is an English writer, and he is known for detective series of written by Rex Carver by him, that is Rex Carver. Okay, and his novels are full of romance, mystery, and especially for thrilling endings. So most of the times, most of the novels, most of the stories, they begin with proper stroke, and they end with a thrilling ending they are always having. So this chapter also same, it's having a thrill, also romance, something mystery also is there, and a thrill ending is also there. We'll read about. Let me tell you in short what the chapter is about. This chapter is about two thieves who one is there for stealing, for making a theft in the house. Another thief is also there, and she is a lady, and she befooled the thief. Okay, and because both of them, they did not know that another one knew that one is a thief, but another one did not know. So here one is betraying to the other. So there this lady befooled this man, and how he comes to know later on about the reality, and because of this lady, second lady, who was also a thief, she made such a trick she used that she, because of her, that another man who was trying to steal but could not steal, he was imprisoned. So how this happened, we'll read about in the chapter. Okay, let's start with the chapter. So now let's begin with explanation of the chapter, A Question of Trust, written by Victor Canning. Everyone thought that Horace Denby was a good, honest citizen. Everyone in the society, they knew it, that he was a man who was very good man. He was in the society, in the eyes of the people, he was very good, he was honest, and he was a good citizen. Okay, Horace Denby, the main character of our chapter. He was about 50 years old man he was, and an unmarried man. He did not marry, and he lived with a housekeeper. The only person who was taking care of him was a housekeeper, who was always worried over his health. So she took care of the man. So in fact, he was usually very good in nature, and he was happy in his life, except for attacks of hay fever. He was suffering from a disease that was called hay fever. This hay fever is a sort of allergic reaction, and it happens during summer season. Okay, that may be because of the dust, or maybe because of the pollen of the flower. So what happened, the people, when they smell something, when dust is there, then what happened, there is an allergy to them. So they start sneezing at that time. So this is called hay fever, that can be result of dust or the pollen in the flower. So it happened normally in summer season. He made logs and was very successful. So what was his profession? Making logs. And he was successful enough at his business to have 2 helpers, and so good professionally he was very good. 2 helpers also he was staying under him, and he was good and respectable, but not completely honest. Okay, though he was very good, though he was very respectable man in the society, everyone maybe were having a good rapport with him, but he was not completely honest man. Why the writer is saying about him, we'll read about in the next chapter. So what happened 15 years ago, Horace had served his 15 years ago. Now it is about his past, the writer is telling that 15 years ago. So what happened before 15 years, Horace had served his first and only sentence, first and only sentence in a prison library. So 15 years ago he made a theft and then he was imprisoned. It was his first imprisoned there, and he was imprisoned in a library. He was given a job. You know, when the people, they are imprisoned, they are kept in jail. So in jail they are not that they are sleeping, eating and just sitting free. No, actually they are given work also according to their education, according to their caliber. So these people who are the prisoners, they are giving particular jobs there to do the work of doing for them. Okay, so he was given a job because he was maybe he knew reading. So in the prison library he got a job there. He was given a work, not job, he was given a work. He loved rare and expensive books, and there his habit of reading got enhanced. So he a lot of books, he expensive books, because he read. So what he did for that, so why he was imprisoned, this we'll read about why he was imprisoned. He loved rare and expensive books, so he robbed a safe every year because he was fond of reading. So for that fond of reading, and expensive books were needed very he loved those books, not the simple ones, those which were rare enough and which were expensive enough. So he was lover of such books, and for that, because he did not have that much money, they were costly, so he robbed a safe every year. Each year he planned carefully just what he would do, stole enough to last for the 12 months, and secretly bought the books he loved through an agent. And because he did not want to go to prison, he did not want to be caught. So what he did, that he planned once a year. What he did, not each year, once a year he planned. He planned a theft every year and stole enough to last for 12 months. And big theft he made every year, so that he get a lot of money from there in a year only. And with that money, he will he would purchase the books. And secretly, he purchased secretly. Not that he went to bookstall, because he did not want to be, naturally, because when one is getting money of theft, so they will be then they will be frightened. So he will not go himself to the bookstore. He sent an agent, and through an agent, maybe he paid to that agent. Through that agent, he got the books purchased for him. So this way he was doing in his life. Now walking in bright July, now we come to the next line. Now walking in the bright July sunshine, he felt sure that this year's robbery was going to be as successful as all others. So now, because it was now his job to steal for the books. Now it was a July month when he was planning for the next theft. Now 15 years have gone. Now again he have thought that psyche in his mind may have made him to make another theft and to get another books for reading. So he planned the July month. This was a July month. He felt sure that this year's robbery was going to be successful as all the others. So he thought that he will be having in the July a good robbery, a big robbery he will make, and it will be successful as other time, because he did not want to go to prison. So he planned it well, that he will not be caught by the police this time. For 2 weeks he had been studying. 2 weeks, for the 2 weeks, and for this planning, what was needed? For this planning, he was observing a house. He was studying a house. Which house? At the Shotover Grange. What happened? The thieves, what do they do? This is common, because whenever any thief want to go to want to steal anything from any house, so what do? They keep observation. Keep observing that house for many days or maybe many weeks. So they find out the suitable time when no one would be there, and they will be able to steal without any problem, without any hindrance. So this way he was also, for 2 weeks have gone, and he was now taking care of everything, that where he was now planning to steal, at the Shotover Grange. Okay, Shotover Grange. Shotover was the name of the villa, and Grange is a house at the, mostly it is at countryside, where it's a big mansion type, big palace type house, and it was surrounded by another small houses. So this Grange, this house he chose, Shotover house,
a big house he chose for his theft. And looking at its rooms, its electric wiring, its paths, its garden, naturally he observed this house and just saw that its room, how many rooms were there, its electric wires, from where the wires were going on, so that he can, at the time of the theft, he can cut all those wires. And he knew its paths, how many ways are there to enter, to exit the house. So, and its gardens also. Why he was doing, so that he make a theft and easily he can save himself, he can exit from that house easily, he can save his life after the theft. And after afternoon, so this afternoon he planned two servants, he got that time when he can make the theft, who remained in the grange while family was in London and had gone to movies. Now what happened, the family who lived in this house, they have to go to London, they were not in the city. And there were two servants also. These two servants, they had gone to see the movie, to watch the movie at that day. So Horace thought that this is the right time, he can steal from the house. So Horace saw them go, he saw these people were going, and he felt happy in spite of little tickle of hay fever. So he was happy that the thieves were going, and so though he was getting a problem of hay fever, so summer season, July season, summer season, so his hay fever, his allergy, dust allergy was coming back. So though there was problem in his nose, tickling in his nose, at the moment he could sneeze, but there may be risk if he sneeze at the time of the theft, then there may be some problem for him. But still he saw that they were going for the movie, these two servants. So he made up his mind, no, he will be doing his making the theft. So he came out from the behind the garden wall. So came from the behind of the house, his tool carefully packed in a bag and he on his back. And now naturally he came to the house, and he was having all the tools required for unlocking the locks or for breaking something, or whatever tools were required, he was having all those with him. So there were about 15,000 pounds worth of jewels in the Grange safe. So this was he, because he was observing for the last 2 weeks of so many days were gone, and now he knew everything about that. In the Grange, in the safe where the people kept all the valuable things, in that almirah, in that safe, there were 15,000 pounds worth of jewels hidden, kept there. So he knew about it. So now he thought that now he will be stealing all those jewels. So these jewels, he is saying, if he sold them, now how much, what was the amount, 15,000 pound worth of jewels were there, and he thought if he sold them one by one, so he expected to get at least 5,000. So see, you, this is contrasting situation. He is writer is telling that there were 15,000 pounds valuable gold there. So but if he steal and then he sold them one by one, he will get only 5,000 rupees. Why this much difference is there? Because naturally when the stolen things are there, and when these thieves, they go to market to sell them, then what happened, they do not, the owner also who is purchasing, they knew, the persons they knew who is making business with them, that this is the things of theft, so they give less amount to them. So he will was sure that he will get 5,000 rupees, and that will be enough to make him happy for another year. So 1 year will be all happily, he will be living, purchasing his favorite books, and the 1 year will be gone. 1 year will be gone. There were 3 very interesting books coming up for sale in the autumn. So he has come to know that in the autumn season, 3 new books, interesting books were coming in the market, and he wanted to purchase them. So he made up his mind, this time very successfully he will be doing theft. So now he would get the money he wanted to buy them, and by making this theft in this Grange, in this house, now he will be getting that much amount, that he will be purchasing all these books. Okay, now he had seen the housekeeper hang the key to the kitchen door on the hook side. Now he knew that the housekeepers were going out, and what these housekeepers do when they were going out, he saw them that they kept the key behind the kitchen door. So he was very easy, it will be very easy for him to take that key to open the door and to go inside. So he put on a pair of gloves. Naturally a thief will be wearing gloves, so that there is no prints of his hands, his fingers on anything, and police is not able to catch them easily. So he put his gloves, he took the key from there and he opened the door. Then he was always careful not to leave any fingerprints, because these fingerprints he did not want it to leave. So he used those gloves for stealing. A small dog was lying in the kitchen. So when he went inside, what did he observe? There was a dog. Dog was sitting in a kitchen, and it moved slowly, and it made a noise and movement its tail in a friendly way. Now, dog moved, and naturally, when a dog is there, when any stranger come, they will start barking at the strangers. And this dog moved, but this man was clever because he was a thief, so he knew all the tricks that how to handle these pets. Maybe he knew it. So how he handled that? It only made noise in a friendly way. It did not bark over him. Okay, how he did it? He, all right, Sherry, Horace said as he passed. So when he was passing from there and dog saw him, then he called him by the name. He knew the dog's name. It was Sherry. So he called him by his name. All you have had to do is to keep dogs quiet, was to call them by their right names and show them love. So this tact was known by Horace also. He knew if the pets are called by their name, so they will not shout, they will not bark at the animal. So he also used the same trick and showed some love, maybe patted the dog, and this dog did not bark on him. Then what happened then? The safe was in drawing room. Safe, he knew, Horace knew where the safe was in the house. It was in drawing room behind a rather poor painting. There was a painting in the house and the drawer was hidden behind it. Horace wondered for a moment whether he should collect pictures instead of books. So when he saw there were paintings, beautiful paintings in the house, not so beautiful, but big paintings were there. So he thought that instead of getting these money, why should not he get those paintings, collection of those paintings? So for a moment he thought, but then he took up too much room. Naturally, for big paintings, too much space is required. So he thought that if he took those paintings, a lot of space will be required for these. And in my house, in a small house, books were better because you can easily keep them anywhere in less space also. So he dropped the idea to steal the paintings. So there was a great ball of flowers on the table. So there was he did not know at that moment, because he was a allergic man who was having the hay fever, dust allergy, or from the pollen of the flowers also. So when he saw the flowers kept in a vase on the table, and Horace felt his nose tickle. So naturally that problem of hay fever started disturbing him. So his nose started tickling, and anytime he could sneeze, he was trying to control. He gave a little sneeze, small sneeze he made, and then put down his bag. But because he knew that there was no one, he could sneeze easily, so he was lax. He kept his bag, and then he carefully arranged his tools. He had 4 hours before the servant returned. He knew they have gone to watch the movie, and naturally it will take 4 hours when they will be watching movie, and then will be coming back. So those 4 hours will be sufficient for him. He will be able to make his theft easily. So now he started working over the theft. The safe was not going to be hard to open. So it was because it was easy for him to open any safe. He was habitual of that. Maybe he knew it how to open. After all, he had lived with locks and safes all his life. All his life he had done that work only. So he knew how to open the safe. So there was a burglar alarm also. Burglar alarm, when the thieves enter into the house, there is an alarm set in the houses. So these burglar alarms, they start at the moment when any such mysterious entry is there in the house. So they start their work. But here, because according to him, it was poorly built, because he knew how to open the locks. He knew that also how these alarms are to be controlled. So what he did, he went into the hall, he cut the wires of this burglar alarm, so that no one could know if any beep sound is there, any sound of the alarm is there, then no one comes to know that there was a thief entered in the house. So he came back. So when he cut the wire, he came back and sneezed loudly as the smell of flower came to him again. So when he did that, wire was cut down. Then he again near the flowers when he came, then sneezing problem again started because of that hay fever. So his foolish people are when they own valuable things. Horace thought. He was thinking about the people of that house, that they are the foolish. Why he was saying them foolish people? Because a magazine article had described the house. It was a big house. So an article was written on that house, and in that magazine, in that article, everything about the house was explained, giving a plan of all the rooms were described there, and a picture of room was also told that there was a picture also, there was a painting, and the writer had even mentioned that the painting had a safe. And why he was thinking they were the foolish people? Because in article it was written that there are paintings hanging in the room, beautiful paintings, and there is a safe also in that, behind that. So all stupidly they have told, they have disclosed on their own in the articles. So that's why he was saying that these people were foolish people. So now, but for Horace found that flowers were hindering him in his work. So now, because he started working over that, now he felt some problem. He felt that the flowers were hindering is obstructing his job, and when he was working, some sneezing problem was coming to him. But he buried his face in his handkerchief. With his handkerchief, he's trying to stop that sneeze. And then he heard a voice. When this all was happening with him, then he heard a voice, and it was a mysterious thing in the house, because there was no one in the house. He knew no one was there, the people were not there, the owner was not there, and the servants were not there. Then whose voice was that? Then he heard from the doorway, what is it, a cold or a hay fever? That person, that mysterious voice was asking him that what happened, do you have a problem of cold or a hay fever? Before he could not think anything. Horace said, without thinking, he said it's a hay fever, and found himself sneezing again. He started again sneezing. Then the voice went on, you can cure it with a special treatment, if you find out just what plant gives you the disease. Now the person who is speaking to him, she is suggesting him about that disease. He's saying, you can, if this is a hay fever, you can cure it. How you can cure? You can, if you know about that particular plant which make you face that disease, you can stop this. I think you would better see a doctor. She is advising him to have a doctor, and you are serious about your work. I heard you from the top of the house just now. Now this lady, unknown lady, she was again, and she was giving him instructions, though she did not know him, but giving instruction that if this is hay fever, and if you are working something in the house, and she knew because he was stealing, saying when you are stealing and when you are having such a profession and you start sneezing, naturally it may create a problem for you. So why don't you cure it? Why don't you go to the doctor? So she is suggesting him about his problem. Now she's saying, when I was at the top of the house, and then I heard you, and I came to know someone is there inside my room. So it was quite kindly voice, quite kindly. This lady was very kind when she was talking. So he was not that much afraid, because she was kindly talking with him, but one with firmness in it. There was something firmness, some determination was there. A woman was standing in the doorway, and Sherry was rubbing against her. There was a woman standing, and the Sherry, the dog of the house, it was also rubbing against her. And naturally the dogs, the pets, they rub in front of they stand so lovingly with their owners only, with their owners of the house only, not with other people. So she, maybe now he was doubtful where if she is the lady of the house, the owner of the house. So she was young, quite pretty, and was dressed in red. A young lady she was, pretty lady she was, having a good charming personality, and she was dressed in red. She walked to the fireplace and straightway straightened the ornaments there. She was wearing some ornaments, so as if the house was of her, she went to the fireplace and settled down there, and just settled her ornaments, and dressed as if she was very accustomed to that place, as if it was her house, or maybe she was the owner of the house. So now he was afraid. Now what happened? Now she again is speaking. Down, Sherry, she said, anyone would think to be away for a month. Now she's saying that anyone will be thinking that for a month I'm out of the house, I'm not there. She smiled at Horace. Now she is making fun of actually of Horace, that everyone in the city may be doubting that we are for 1 month we are away of the house and we are not in the house, as if she is making fun of Horace, and went on. However, I came back just in time, though I did not expect to meet a burglar. Burglar, a thief. She is saying it's the right time I have come to my house back, and I never expected that I will meet a thief in my house. So she's making fun of this man, and but speaking softly and kindly, not rebuking or not, is not afraid of the thief even. Okay, so there was something suspicious from here only. Now Horace had some hope because she seemed to be amused at meeting him. He might avoid trouble if he treated her the right way. He replied, I did not expect to meet one of the family. Now, because Horace, he was not expecting to meet anyone. He knew that there was no one in the house, and suddenly a woman of honor of the house came in front of him. So he was afraid. Now because she was seen to be amused at, she was just not so serious after seeing him. So he was not afraid of the lady. He might avoid trouble if he treated her right way. So he thought if he also same softly and kindly keep on speaking with the lady, so there might not be any problem, and he will be running away from there easily. So he replied her questions. I did not expect to any family members. I thought there is no one, so that's why I came here. So now she nodded. Now she nodded. She just then moved her, shook her neck, and then she said, I see what an inconvenience it is for you to meet me. Now what she is saying, I know this may have been very inconvenient, uncomfortable situation for you, because you were not thinking like that you will be meeting someone, and now I am here in front of you. What are you going to do now? Now she is asking him. So now I am there. Now what are you going to do? Will you steal now? Horace said, my first thought was to run away. Now Horace is also again polite, same politely speaking with the lady because he was comfortable. She was speaking in a nice manner to her, so he was comfortable talking. He's saying, I thought I should run away first. I thought, then of course you could do that. Now lady is saying, of course you can you can run away from there, but I would telephone the police and tell them all about you. But if you do that, I will give a call to the police and will tell about you, and they would get you at once. They will catch hold of you. They will get you into the prison. So she is threatening the thief now. Now Horace said, I would of course cut the telephone wires first, and then. He hesitated, a smile on his face. Now he said, how will you call? Naturally, when I came in the house, I cut all the wires, telephone wires also. That's why you won't be able to. I will make sure that you could nothing do for some time. A few hours will be enough. Saying now when wires are cut down and you can contact the police, so a few hours are easily I will be able to escape from there. She looked at him seriously. Now she became serious. You would hurt me? Now are you going to hurt me? Are you going to kill me or something? Because thieves, they do that. So now she's asking him. Horace posed. Horace now, because he was not that sort of person. He did not have any weapon. So what he said, I think it was trying to frighten you when I said that. Saying, no, nothing. I just trying to frighten you. I will not hurt you. I will not do you anything with you. I was just trying to frighten you. You didn't frighten me. Horace suggested, it would be nice if you forget you ever saw me. Let me go. Now he is requesting, even the lady of the house is requesting now. Let's say he is saying that please forgive me, whatever happened. Now you just leave me, let me go. I will not do anything and let me go. So politely this thief is requesting that lady that I will not hurt you. I don't have, because he never used the weapons actually. So he was not of that sort of nature. So he was requesting him, now let me go. So now the voice was suddenly sharp. Now this lady, her voice again became sharp. And why should I? You were going to rob me. If I let you go, you will only rob someone else. Society must be protected from men like you. Now this lady, what she's saying? She's saying that how can I leave you? How can if I leave you without any action taken, because you are a person who can hurt anyone. So you in the society, you will be doing any other theft and you will create problem for others. Then what happened then? She again started talking with him. So this, her voice became sharp. She's saying, if I do this and if I leave you like that, you will be a problem for other people. You will make a theft anywhere else. So Horace here smiled. So now he is smiling over. Uh, he's smiling because he knew that he would not do. So he wanted to make her feel that he was not that. So what he said? He said, I am not the man who threatens the society. He's saying, no, I am not such a man. I am not a normal thief, you know. I am not a threat to the society because I steal only from those who have a lot of money. He's saying, I steal from the rich people only. So I steal for a good reason, and robbery is not my routine work. This is just for a good reason I steal. You know, I hate the thought of the prison. He's saying, I don't want to go to prison because I hate the prisons. So I just make this for a good reason. He's trying to convince the lady that leave me. I am not a normal thief and I am not a danger to the society. So she laughed. The lady laughed and he backed again. The thinking that he had persuaded her. Now persuaded her, convinced her, look, I have no right to ask you for anything. Saying, but I am desperate. He's saying, now again he's begging because he wanted to save his life. Now he don't want to go. He doesn't want to go to prison. So again he is trying to convince this lady, look, that leave me. I'm feeling very desperate. I'm hopeless now. Let me go, and I promise never to do this kind of thing again. Really, I mean. So he's pleading, requesting this lady that I don't want to go to prison. You please leave me, let me go, and I will not do this type of thefts again. So he's trying to convince the lady not to send him to, not to call the police. Now she was silent, watching him closely. Then she said, you are really afraid of going to prison? Are you? Now this lady, she, as if she has come to know her, the loophole in her, the shortcoming, that is the thing in his life, that he was afraid of prisons. So he was afraid of prisons, and this thing, when she comes to know, now she can, maybe she was reading the mind of this person. She was reading the mind of the person, that how she can make him do things for him. So now she came over to him, shaking her head. I have always liked the wrong kind of people. Now see how she is speaking. She is a suspense character from the starting. She is saying, I like the people who are the wrong kind of people. I always liked those people. And she picked up a silver box from the table and took a cigarette from that. And now, because she was behaving like she was the owner, and normally way she was behaving, she took a cigarette and started cigarette she took from there and just settled down in front of him. Horace, eager to please her and seeing that she might help him, took off his gloves and gave her his cigarette lighter. And Horace, because he was afraid, he wanted to go away at any cost. He doesn't want to go to prison. So he forgot all the safety rules. And what safety rules? He was a thief in another house. He was stealing for the stealing purpose. And here, because he wanted to please the lady, so what mistake he is doing here? He took out his gloves and then gave a cigarette lighter to lit his cigarette to the lady. Now you will let me go? He held the lighter towards her. Yes, but only if you will do something for me, anything you say. See? Now he is requesting, will you please let me go? And now this lady, she is as if she is now making her mind that it's okay, you will be going from there, I will not stop you. But before going from there, what you have to do is, you have to do my one word. So now he was happy that the lady was convinced and she will let him go. Before we left for London, she is saying, when we went for London, when I and my husband, when we were going to London, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank. But I left them here in the safe. She is saying, when we were going to London, I told my husband that the bank, there is a jewelry in the safe, and that jewelry we should keep in bank. I will be keeping. I forgot. I want to wear them. She's saying that, but now I forgot that time. I want to now wear them for a party tonight, and because my husband is still away and I'm there, and I want to wear these jewels for the party tonight, and I came down to get them. But she's saying that's why I have come down, came here to the room to get those jewels. Now, but, and when she said but, now his sentence was completed by Horace. He smiled. He said, and you have forgotten the number to open the safe, haven't you? Without saying by the lady anything by the lady, he himself spoke. Okay, you forgot the number to open the safe. Okay, numbers are fixed. Code is always fixed for keeping something precious safe. Okay, so there may be something. So yes, replied the young lady, and as if she was waiting for such an answer. So she said, yes, I forgot. Just leave it to me. You will have them within an hour. And then, but I will have to break your safe. He's saying, okay, don't worry. This is very easy for me. I will be opening for you. Over just 1 hour, it will take 1 hour, and then I will open it. I will be doing this work. Don't worry about that. My husband won't be here for a month, and I will have the safe mended by that time. So now he's saying, okay, don't worry. My husband has only gone there for a month. I'm there only. So this 1 month is safe for me. I will be again mend that, repair this safe again. You just open it. I will get it repaired, and again, so that no one comes to know. My husband doesn't come to know about that. So she was easily, she is convincing that thief also to do the work for her, to take out the jewels for her. And that he, because he was not so dishonest man, though he was a thief, but still there was cunning nature. He was not so clever that he could know the text of the lady. He is convinced by her. Now, and then what happened? Within an hour, Horace had opened the safe, given her the jewels, and gone happily away. Now he was happy. He took out the jewel and gave to this lady, and then gone away from there. Naturally, he thought that now I am saved and I am now okay. Then he went away from there, and maybe he was feeling happy till now that he was not able to got by anyone. So now for 2 days he kept his promise to the kind lady. So according to him, she was a kind lady because she let him go. She did not hand over him to the police. And lady on the morning, and on the 3rd day, however, he thought of books he wanted. He knew he would have to look for another safe. Now because that robbery was cancelled, he could not rob there. All the jewels he had given to the owner only. Now he will have to, and he has to purchase the books. So now he was thinking what he was thinking. After 2 days, he started again thinking. After 2 days, he became normal, and he started thinking that another robbery he will be making, another safe he will be breaking now to get the money for purchasing his books. But he never got the chance to begin his plan. But what happened there? By noon, a policeman had arrested him for the jewel robbery at the Shotover Grange. And now robbery though was made by him, but it was not done actually. It was all handed to that lady. But still police came and it arrested him, and he was now in the jail. Now, then what happened? His fingerprints. What happened? Why this happened with him? Why this all was happening? Now he was being caught. Now, what was the reason that he was being caught? His fingerprints, for he had opened the safe without gloves. Why he was caught? The reason was his foolish thing he has done there. What he did? He had taken out his gloves. Without gloves, what he did? He broke that safe. And naturally, when without gloves he was opening it, so his fingerprints all were imprinted there. And police, when maybe came to that house, they were all in the room, and everywhere in the room his fingerprints were found. And no one believed him when he said that the wife of the owner of the house had asked him to open the safe for her. No one, when he tried to tell the police that it was not him who had stolen, actually the wife of the house, it was she who asked him to make that stealing. Okay, so now this, but no one believed him. He saying, why the owner will be saying you to steal for him? Now, for her, now she, because the wife of that owner of the house, she was gray haired, old lady, sharp tongued woman of 60 she was, and the lady whom he met, she was young. She said that the story was a nonsense because the actual wife of the actual owner of the house, she was not that lady. She was a lady who was old lady and who was 60 years old, and she herself told that it's a nonsense story. I did not take those jewels from him, and I had not never seen this man. So all his theft then was on his blame was on him. He was caught for that. Horace is now assistant librarian in the prison. Again, now he is in the prison and now he is an assistant librarian, and he often thinks of the charming, clever young lady who was in the same profession as he was. Now he keeps thinking about the lady. The lady, he who was charming in looking, she was clever young lady, and she was of same profession. So this was the lady who was the thief. She made him steal the things for her, and she made him open the safe. She did not do anything, but she made him do the theft for her and got all the jewels without leaving any evidence. She left away from there very safely. She left away from there, and this man, he was caught. He and who tricked him, and she was the lady he was, and who tricked him. Now he was maybe not that much clever man, so he came into her. He talks and he did the theft for her. Though he did the theft, then also did not do the theft for him, but then also he was in prison. So he gets very angry when anyone talks about honor among thieves. Now because he, when sitting in the prison library, in the library, when he is given job there, the work there, so he's sitting and he's thinking about the lady, that she, how she was, though she was of the same profession. And because this is believed that in the same profession the people should be true and honest to each other. But here different, something different happened. This lady betrayed him. This thief, though she was also a thief, but she betrayed him. She made him, befooled him, and now he gets very angry when anyone talks about honesty among the thieves. That when you talk about honor among the things, honesty among the things, so he feels bad that how people can talk about that, how because he was treated in a bad way by a lady, and he was she was cheating him, and he did not know. So all when people talk about that the people should be true in to each other in same profession, he feels bad, he feels angry at that moment because he was not treated the same way, same in the same profession. He was he remembered those bitter moments with that lady. Okay, that's the chapter. So now let us discuss about the character sketches.
Okay, did you enjoy the chapter? I hope you understood it well. Okay, there was thrill in the chapter, suspense in the chapter. You have read that how Horace Denby, two characters, the main characters, Horace Denby and the lady in red, who is not given any name. They both are opposite in nature. Although both are thieves, they are the persons whose profession was stealing, but their nature is totally different. Okay, how different we discuss? This person, Horace Denby, though he was a thief, but the theft was not done for the sake of any other luxury sake or any other thing. So because he was fond of reading and he did not have that much money, so that reason he thought that once stealing in a year, he will be making that his reading habit, he will be fulfilling with that money. Okay, though motto was wrong, his way was also wrong, but still he was not as dishonest honest as that lady in red. Okay, so this man we first talk about, Horace Denby. He is, first you have to tell about his physical appearance. Okay, tell about his physical appearance and then about his character, his way of thinking and behavior. So to make it a long question. Okay. So this man, Horace Denby, he is 50 years old, unmarried man. We all have read about this, and he was suffering from hay fever. Hay fever, as I have explained to you, that allergy he was having. And respectable, though he was a respectable man, Okay, so he was fond of reading. Such a thief who was fond of reading. That is a good habit of him. And he never, but although he was a thief, but he never hurt anyone. You have seen in the chapter is told that he was not having any weapon in the hand. When the lady came, he wanted to run away from there without hurting her. So this is his quality. He never hurt anyone in his life. Okay, and now this lady, no name is given of the lady. It's a suspense character, and this lady in which she is a gifted personality, because her personality was such that she easily convinced the thief, another thief, that was Maurice Denby also, and the dog of that house also. She was easily able to convince. Her personality was such, no one was able to believe that she would be a thief. So she is with a gifted personality lady, and full of confidence. She was full of confidence. She never let Maurice Denby believe her that she can also be a thief like him. He never suspected of him while talking. He did not suspect of that. She was full of confidence, and she was very clever. As we know, she made this man. She was very tactful also. How now she, although she was a thief, she did the theft in the house. All the money and the jewelry she got. But here, who was in prison? Maurice. So this was her clever nature, her tactful nature. Very tactfully, she convinced Maurice Denby to steal for her, and without leaving any imprints of her hands, she was safe, and Maurice Denby was gone. Okay, so both are two opposite characters in nature. That's all about the chapter. I hope you understand.